Hi, my name is Emma, this is Emma Rosen Books, and I'm interviewing Alyssa Weaver today. And on social media, you're Mismatched Mess?
Mismatched Mama.
Mismatched Mama now. Yeah, okay. So obviously I'll link everything below, but yeah, real name, Alyssa. Alyssa has produced this amazing book, Elliot's Adventure in Canterbury, so we're going to talk about that today and everything bookish and yeah. So I wanted to start off with, what is your background? How did you come to this? What's sort of led up to?
Well, I am a graphic designer, and I work in the sort of social media marketing world. So not books, but yeah, graphic design.
Okay. Well, it must be helpful though to have that social media background.
It does,
for
yeah.
marketing and
yeah.
Excuse the leather chair, by the way, as we move around. So then, what led you to start to write Elliot's Adventure?
Well, it's literally an adventure book about my son.
Yeah.
I wrote the book for his 1-year birthday and drew the pictures and
So
stuff.
how old is he now?
He is 19 months.
No. So this was a present that you gave to him that you then turned into something.
Yeah. Actually, I have the original book if you want to see it.
Oh yeah, that'd be
I meant
amazing. How exciting.
I think I do. Oh. Yes.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So I just made this for his birthday party actually, and I handed it out to the friends that came.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah, it was like a party favor.
Oh. So then what led to that being, did people sort of say you should make this into a thing, or?
Yeah, well of course I had family say that, which is always great to hear, but you don't really act on that. But yeah, I had a meeting with a local illustrator who said that Canterbury might be interested in this book. So I sat on that for a long time and then finally decided to actually go ahead with that.
Yeah.
And try to make it into something more.
A published book.
Right.
That's amazing. It's such a nice story behind it.
Oh, thank you.
So when you did all the original artwork for Elliot, did you have to do that in sort of a creative, like did you have to have your creative space? And I suppose as a graphic designer you work creatively anyway. Like what's your conditions?
Yeah, well, I have an office, and if I let my son in it, it's just completely destroyed. So I work in there a lot, but for the original book, I literally just spread everything out on our dining table and just let him sort of crawl around me and drew, standing up.
So that's really interesting to me because I've got small children and trying to write around them, so that idea of kind of how you do that with children, whether you do it when they're asleep or whether you let them, you work while they're there, or I think it's a challenge.
It is a challenge, and it's really easy to get frustrated with it, but then you just sort of decide to press on and you sort of work around what is best for you. So now, that first original book for his birthday, I just did it really quickly, whether he was awake or asleep. Now I work during his nap time, or I have a babysitter. So yeah, I like to work alone.
Yeah, it does make it easier. And I've seen on social media that he does little art bits as well. And
yes, I'm really, really passionate about toddler art.
Yes. I can
it.
see that. It's so sweet, the things that you make with him.
Oh, thank you.
And it's sort of, it has the same feel as the book, I think.
Yeah, and that's sort of the point of this book and the art style and everything, so that it's relatable to him and our relationship, and also to other children. Yeah,
because I've seen on one of your videos on YouTube, I'll link it below, it's you sort of splatter the paint and then drag it across the page. It looks so awesome.
It's really fun, and it's really, that is actually how I was inspired to even start drawing the characters, is that background.
Yeah, it's so vibrant.
It's crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it is, and if you look at the sort of the bits that you've released on social media, that whole like the colourway of it, and it's really eye catching. You have to go and check it out. So how did you find the like once you decided it was going to be a book, sort of beyond the birthday party? How did you find that process of kind of making the book?
Well, let's see. Making it was easy. It took a while to wrap my head around it, but everything is painted, but then I just slap it into like Photoshop and then edit it.
Did you have to redraw it from the original?
Most of it is original.
Yeah.
I have added a lot of scenes
Yeah.
that I had to draw
Yeah.
for this book. But yeah, making it was okay. I literally just used an online template to find like the correct book size and stuff.
Yeah. So it wasn't too. I mean, you've got the background anyway of knowing how to.
Right. Yeah.
Create it,
and of course, there's always that. Like you have to sort of brainstorm. Like, okay, what is it going to look like? Trimmed and like what's a bleed size? And, you know, all that stuff. You know, but you still have to like.
When I contacted the lady who illustrated my book, who's my sister-in-law, I said before, I messaged her and kind of said, oh, you know, the trim sizes are this and the bleed is this, and because she's Russian, she thought I was threatening her. She was like, what? This is bleeding, what are you saying? I was like, it's fine, it's fine. So I don't know what it is in Russian, but I don't think it's like bleeding. Oh, I've got a list of questions here to see where I've got to. So yeah, why did you decide to publish yourself rather than sort of going to traditional publishing? Right. Yeah, fine.
Out of curiosity, I did look into publishers, but my heart wasn't really in it, I guess. And I like the idea of having control of the book. And, you know, it is a niche book.
Yes.
It is about a local city. So yeah, I liked the idea of potentially having it in local places.
And I suppose in that respect, maybe it might be difficult for a traditional publisher to market it because it's just about Canterbury, maybe?
I think so, yeah. Of course I don't know if I want to get into this, but there is, you know, this idea of creating a series of cities, which is really, really fun. It's a fun idea.
Which I get, you could, that's kind of open to. And so you're a newcomer to Canterbury and have fallen in love with the place, I gather, on social media. Just stalking you online.
Absolutely. We were from the States, from Texas. And moved to Canterbury for my husband to go to school and have really been able to fall in love with it, you know, become a resident, but still get to see it through the eyes of a tourist.
Yeah, I mean, it is a beautiful city. I'd really recommend, if anyone's not been here, the sirens. This is the only thing about filming here is the sirens. Oh, it's gone, it's fine. Yeah, go away. Yeah, if you haven't been to Canterbury, then I'd really recommend it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
It's nice the book can kind of share that.
Yeah.
And actually, funny enough, I've got a book, so we've got family in Los Angeles, and we've got a little book that, I think it's called Goodnight Los Angeles or something like that. Have you got that?
We have, well...
Is it a series?
It's a series, it's a series for the States.
Right,
which is so cute. And where we have connections with North Carolina, so we have Goodnight North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And it's my son's favourite book.
Yeah, so it's that kind of like place for a child, especially if a child like lives in Canterbury or visits Canterbury, or equally for us with the links to Los Angeles for our children to remember when we visited and stuff. Right. It's just nice to have that to be able to look through. It's a lovely idea.
That's my hope.
Yeah, but yeah, I would recommend it. It's a really nice place to visit, and you almost have a tourist guide for children here, right? So, how are you publishing the book?
Okay.
You had a Kickstarter.
I did, yeah. So I did decide to fund the book through Kickstarter. I needed to print some copies to put in stores, and I had no money. So
that's what Kickstarter's there for.
Yeah, exactly. And I literally had such a low budget, which supporters, of course, family and friends supporters, and then supporters from the local areas, or you know, Kent and Canterbury, they just really it was encouraging to see how supportive they were for this book. So I'm really glad that I did that.
And I think that's how I found you, is your Kickstarter being shared amongst mums in the area. So yeah, it's that's really awesome, and you absolutely blew your target out of the water.
Oh yeah, I think I ended up with £1,400, and I wanted £400.
It's amazing.
So I'm just really grateful.
Yeah, it's so much support. That's awesome. So then that money then goes now to you going and printing the book.
And so I have all of these Kickstarter backers who need their books. So the first batch will be printed through like a print company. I'm so new at this publishing game, and I just looked at the book as through a designer's perspective. So I went to some print companies that I know and love. So that's how this book will be printed. But I'm considering, especially after the videos that you put out, I'm considering, KDP, Kingdom Spark,
Or potentially you can set yourself up through, you can get them printed and then you are the distributor, but then, you're handling sending it to people.
Right.
So, there's lots of options out there. And then hopefully, anyway, this will be in city stores.
I'm hoping, I'm very optimistic about that.
It looks beautiful, so I really hope that it does get picked up and you can go to like Waterstones in Canterbury, or like there's that tourist shop as well. You never know. You see it everywhere in Canterbury. So do request it if you live in Canterbury. And how have you found? I know that you're still going through the publishing process, but how have you found it? Because you have the background with the designing side of things, so this, like you say, is the new bit.
It's very new. Overwhelming at times. Even when things are straightforward, I just want to make sure that I get it right. So, like, for instance, just a simple example is I keep getting my page numbers wrong. Like, you have to publish a certain amount of pages to make a book. And of course, if I just watched your video first, I would know that.
Well, it's the formatting can be because I didn't realise that, and then saw some other sort of examples where they will just shove pages in the end, and when you've set up how you want your book to look, and then suddenly there's like another 3 pages because it just has to be like a certain way. But it's I try and share what I do, but I think there's lots of different ways of going about it, and lots of different companies you can use. It's not even just the ones, I'm using like the big guys, I suppose, KDP and Ingram's, but there's others, there's like Lulu and all sorts, so it's really nice to be able to share. It's part of why I like the idea of this series. I've interviewed another lady before called Zoe Williams, that I'll link below as well, to just sort of share how we've done it, because there's so many different ways and it can feel really overwhelming.
And watching your recent series about printing a children's book, which is literally what I'm doing. I've done pretty much everything the backwards and opposite to what you've done, but I don't regret that, of course. But if I do anything in the future, I want to do it your way.
It's a learning process, because obviously my children's book is my second book, and so then I've already kind of part been through the process, although my first book was an adult's book, so it's different, but it is the whole learning curve, but the learning curve is fun, I think.
It is, I know so much more now, so it's great.
And I don't know about you, but I'm sort of a bit of a control freak perfectionist, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because it makes for a good product, but then the stress is... So then I guess my last question is just whether you have any tips for other indies who are interested in publishing children's books, publishing books, what you would give as a tip.
So of course the publishing part is still a bit overwhelming for me, so I think I'll sort of slightly change the question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So I did this book, it was a labor of love for my son, and I'm in graphic design, but I don't really paint or draw that much.
Okay.
I love to do it.
Are you more digital?
I am more digital, but I love to paint, but it's just not a specialty of mine. So I would say that find find what inspires you and make it work.
Yeah.
You know, it may not be straightforward. It may not be exactly what you envision at first, but if you just, I don't know, if this is...
I know exactly what you mean. If you're doing something that you love, then you're going to push for it and you're going to be behind it.
Exactly. Like I said about, you know, the background, the painted background, that is what spurred me on to even attempt to draw characters. Because that was just too overwhelming to think about.
Right.
So I just started with one step, one process, and then that inspired me and motivated me to just continue forward, and then suddenly I have a book.
Yeah.
So.
It does feel a bit like that with books. It's like, oh no, I have a book.
Yeah.
You do get to that point. But no, the background, it is just beautiful. You can see that you come from a design background, and it's stunning. Should we, because I don't know how this will end up getting chopped sometimes on some YouTube, so we'll just make sure that everyone can see how lovely it is.
Oh, thank you.
This background is so, is this the same kind of squidgy dragged paint? Or
No, actually, I'm really glad that you asked about that.
Because that bit is it?
Yeah. I can show you both of these original pages,
Oh,
actually.
cool. Okay, go on then.
Sorry.
No. I was saying it's really thick. It's like, if my children had this, you couldn't wreck the pages of this because it's nice and durable.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. Of course I considered board books, but I'm really glad that I went with soft cover.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Yeah.
So anyways, so this is the background.
Oh, I see. Compare it. So cool.
And I had to edit it a tiny bit, but I'm glad that you brought this up because this is actually made by my son.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, it's just a finger painting that he did.
Oh.
And because the book, you know, is about him and for him, I wanted a little piece of him, you know.
His art
book,
is in it. That is so lovely.
And then
He's a good painter.
Isn't he? And this is the original of the cathedral.
I see.
And this is, you know, sort of Canterbury Cathedral.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this is made with that sort of paint swipe method that I have on my channel.
That.
And then I just sort of drew over it.
Yeah, and what I find interesting, so with Lily the Limpet, the characters were separate and put on, like you've done with the, is it called Dame John Mound?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's actually called. You go up there and you don't know what its name is. And it makes it even look 3D in the actual picture.
And that's exactly what I wanted.
Oh, and you've done the same thing. Because I'm really ignorant about design. Is that a thing in design? Is that a really obvious thing?
I'm really ignorant in children's books, and I can't find the exact character, but I will show you one.
Because my illustrator Jenny said that it's about being able to move them around and decide where you want them. But I love the 3D effect it gives.
Yeah, I'm really glad I did this. This isn't the exact character, but.
Yeah.
But I did it because I was too overwhelmed to actually draw characters within a background. So I divided it into sections.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's really sensible, you know, it makes it less scary then.
It was way less scary for me, but I can't tell you if that's what illustrators do.
Well, it's what my illustrator did, but I don't know, that might just be coincidence, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. Well, thank you so much for telling us about your book. It's so exciting. And do go and check out Alyssa on all of your social media. So you're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Yes.
Are you anywhere else?
Those 3 are the main ones.
Okay, cool. Well, I will link those below, but there's lots of beautiful artwork and splodgy children's paintings. It's just gorgeous, so do go and check it out. Thank you for talking to me today.